even if it sounds crazy, he's going to bring that thing to pass if you believe him. Sit down. And so when you have that relationship, God can use the man of God, the prophet, to speak a word, and you know that God will not allow the words of a bona fide prophet to fall to the ground. That if God uses the set man to decree a season, God is going to do for his people whatever he has promised them. Despite enemies, despite trouble, despite haters, he's going to do for every one of us that which he told us he would do. And when you have a relationship with God, you have that understanding that despite what I go through, despite what it looks like, despite what I'm hearing, even what I'm feeling, it is my season. It is my time to shine. Do anybody believe that it's your season for greatness? It's your season. It's your season despite being laid off. It's your season despite the fact that you may have bounced a check. It's your season despite what devils have been whispering in your ear. It is my season because he said so. And I believe every word that he says. Sit down for a moment. When you have a relationship with God, you understand that God loves when we believe him, but he hates when we doubt him. See, God is looking for folk that will believe him. He's looking for people that refuse to doubt him. Rather, they understand that they have been ordained by him, by the word, which is God, to walk by faith and not by sight. We understand that we are not supposed to look at how it is in the present. We have an understanding, according to 2 Corinthians 4:18, the things that are seen, they are only temporary. But the things that are not seen, they are eternal. Tell your neighbor, don't allow your eyes to play tricks on you. Tell them again, it's your season, child of God. But I cannot allow what I may be seeing to confuse me or to boggle my mind and cause me to be narrow-minded, whereby I only focus on the trouble rather than focusing on the God who allowed the trouble only to promote me. Oh, you didn't get that. He allowed the trouble in order that it may make you and not break you. In order that it might promote you and not demote you. You better tell somebody, my trouble working for me. Yeah, it's working for me. And so God loves when we believe him. He loves when we take him at his word. But he hates to be doubted. That's the reason Hebrews 11:6 said, without faith, it is impossible to please him. See, whenever we don't believe God, whenever we walk in unbelief, as children of God, as people who have a relationship with God, he is not pleased with us. As a matter of fact, the Hebrew writer said that unbelief is evil, or when we choose not to believe God, we are actually sinning. For Paul told the Roman church, whatsoever is not of faith is sin. When I doubt God, I'm in error. When you doubt him, you are in error, or you are messing up big time. Never doubt God, but understand the sovereignty of God. Understand that God is in control. Understand that God reigns on the throne all by himself. And if we understand the sovereignty of God, or if many of you truly believe God the way you should, how much better could your life be if you really understood the sovereignty of God. See, many of us, if we really understood the sovereignty of God, again, you would not allow trouble to depress you. You wouldn't allow a negative situation, watch this, to keep you stressed out. Because sometimes as humans, trouble shakes us from the initial start. But when you know the sovereignty of God, you have to talk to yourself. You have to do what David did. You have to encourage yourself in the Lord. You have to remind yourself, why am I shaking? Why am I nervous? Why am I fretting? Why am I stressing out? The same God that did it the last time is going to do it this time. So let me get myself up. Let me wash my face. Let me anoint my head and give him the praise that's due unto his name. Oh, let me go ahead and confuse every demon that's trying to attack me by praising God in the midst of difficulty. When you understand the sovereignty of God, you understand that God can take a nobody and make him a somebody. You understand God can take the tail and make him the head. God can take the borrower and make him the lender. God can take the reject and make him a ruler. God can take those that's on the bottom and bring them to the top. Pastor, how can he do it? He is sovereign. And in his sovereignty, this is what I love about God. God does not need, nor does he require the permission of man to bless you. Oh, y'all didn't hear that. God don't need your supervisor's permission. He can bless you despite what's happening at your company. He don't need your boyfriend permission. He don't need your girlfriend permission. He is sovereign. God is so sovereign that there have been times that he took from people and gave to his people. Oh, y'all ain't getting it. He let folk think they own something until he got ready to give it to his people. Because your word says the wealth of the unjust is laid up for the just. God know how to take from a sinner and give it to a saint. And if you in the house this morning and ain't saved, you better beware, because God can take your stuff and give it to me. Be seated. And because somebody saying, I can't believe he said that. Well, let him say it again. God will take your stuff and he'll give it to somebody else despite how you feel. He did it with Canaan. The folk thought they owned Canaan. Watch this. God let his enemies dwell in a land for years. Let them cultivate the land. Let them dig the vineyards. Let them build the houses. Then God showed up one day and said, I'm doing a switch. I let y'all get it right so that when they come in, they ain't got to do nothing but live in it. But again, to believe in a thing such as turnaround, when from a natural standpoint, many around us are still believing that we in a recession. Many folks still believe that things are tight right now. The stock market is not doing what it normally do. And so many people believe that this is a time to just sit still and don't do nothing. Don't move. Just sit still because things are tough right now. But now your God is showing up and saying, despite what you may be hearing, understand this is a season of turnaround. This is a season for you to have. This is a season for you to possess. This is a season for you to come out. This is a season for you to be delivered. This is a season for you to experience what you have never experienced before. Do you believe better is here? Do you believe better is yet coming? Do you believe that God is turning things around? Have you not heard the testimony? Have you not heard what he's already doing?